This is Trip. They said they needed somebody whose mic demeanor matches how the D-League get it hype inside that ice arena. For live action analysis and highlights, you need to let your host on the mic, Mr. Reichert, be the light to lead you through life between the pipes. Incite like an encyclopedia. Look inside yourself, find the fight to compete in you. Get in while you can, the numbers doubling fast. Asses in the seats and snot bubbles on the glass. Sign your name on the line for your spot and lock it up. This is hockey. We'll see who talking tough when they drop the puck. Try to keep your teeth and knock it up. Sorry about your luck. You should probably go sit down somewhere safe and get doctored up. Turn it up loud, let it knock in your truck. Or in the office, sound waves ripple through coffee cups. Come on. Log on, lock it in, and lock it up. It's DLeagueRadio.com. Let's talk it up. Log on, lock it in, and lock it up. It's DLeagueRadio.com. Let's talk it up. Lace your skates up or sit back reading the tea leaves. You are now tuned into the D-League. If you ain't bumping this in your ride, you need a DD. You are now tuned into the D-League. Leave your TV, come and see it in 3D. You are now tuned into the D-League. It's the best podcast in the biz, better believe me. You are now tuned into the D-League.
Live from Buccaneer Arena. Good afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome to Championship Sunday here in the CIDL, the first of two championship games. This is the novice matchup featuring the Voodoo versus the Knights. Later on, we'll be having the Wolverines against the Jesters. I'm Matt Whips. I'm joined in the booth by Jeremy Sandy, and at ice level today, Tim Young. Jeremy.
Good afternoon.
And there's Tim. Thanks, Tim. Jeremy, what do you think of today's matchup?
I'm excited about today's matchup. We have the Knights coming in with a somewhat perfect season. They have no losses, 3 ties, and otherwise winning the whole year. They've definitely come in showing a number 1 seed and why they are the number 1 seed. The Voodoo coming in at the number 4 seed, and they have had a phenomenal end of season. They have been showing teams exactly what they're made of here. They're the type of team, started off a little rough, but they're ending the season on fire.
All right, so Tim, your thoughts on today's matchup? I think this is going to be a great game.
I think the nail was just hit on the head describing what's been going on all season, but the one thing the Knights cannot do is overlook the Voodoo because they're coming in right now full steam ahead. They got a lot of inertia behind them, and I expect this to be a very, very close game.
All right, guys, we're just about ready as captains touch gloves. Official Ryan Kelleher making his way to center ice. And we are just about ready to go.
Crowds are shuffling in.
Crowd is shuffling in. Nice crowd here in the bleachers, not just in the lounge. All right, face off. One back by the Knights where Brad Hall takes it and promptly dumps it into the bench.
He's just setting the tone for the rest of the game there.
Yeah, saying hello to his friends on the Voodoo there. All right, so we're going to bring that back a little bit just outside the Knights zone. All right, face off one back where it's taken by Miller. Ernst, though, takes the puck off Miller. Fired by Hunter Lee just wide. Good chance there for the Voodoo. Ernst keeps it in. Back to Lee. Lee now. He shoots wide. Patton gets there first and keeps it in. Good pressure here early from the Voodoo.
That's a good setup by Jeremy Ernst, knowing that Hunter Lee has one of the hardest shots in novice.
Nick Hannes gets it on net, and that one was deflected, and Hansen just got a stick on that one. Finally, the Knights clear. Goes all the way through, or Craig Fraken will get there, and he will freeze that puck as James O'Reilly was in on there.
That's what the Voodoo need right now is sustained pressure like that. Keep it down in their zone and just keep the Knights defense working. That's going to be huge in this game if they can keep that up.
Well, it's like the old saying goes, the best defense is offense, and right now that's what the Voodoo are doing. So face off one back to Casey Spear. Tried to wrap it on the net, ended up putting it on there, and now there's a scramble in front. He's going to try it again the more traditional way. Kept in by Taylor. Taylor shoots, and Fraken swallows that one up. Had Tim Gibson and Fisher on the doorstep but Fraken alertly makes that save. And guys, Jonathan Taylor is no shy boy from the point. He will unleash that shot, and he's got a good one. Now gets it back to Taylor again. Shoots, that's deflected. Fraken again with a save. That one's cleared. And now that one is cleared out. And it'll go for the icing. So after an early flourish there, Jeremy, from the Voodoo, it's the Knights who are all of a sudden on the attack.
They have come back to show the Voodoo they're here to play as well. And bit of a side note, we're talking about Taylor back there at point. This is a bit of a family matchup. We have John Taylor playing for the if I can think, the Voodoo. He plays for the Voodoo.
He does.
And his brother plays for the Knights, Jeff Taylor. And Jeff's son, Jonathan, was just at the point there for the Knights.
Lots of Taylors. All right, here comes Spear. Centers, tries to get it to Tilly. Kreisa broke that up. Now no one really knows where the puck is. It's behind the net where Wubin takes it. She gets it back to Tilly. Avery Tilly. He centers. That's intercepted by Kreisa. Tilly gets it back. Cycles down low. Tilly centers again. That goes off the skate of Taylor. And now Kreisa is going to bring it out. Runs right into Kelly Houston. She is down. And it looks like we're going to have a call, maybe interference. We're not sure, but right now Jen Wubin is attending to Houston as she really took a shot from Kreisa. It was nothing intentional. It was just two players colliding there at full speed. Tim, did you have a good look at that?
Yeah, what had happened was it looked like Kreisa was coming in with some steam, and she just kind of had gotten in the way. It was definitely not intentional, but it's a pretty brutal little hit. Incidental hit, I should say.
Well, she's pretty shaken up as she's helped to her feet here. And interestingly, Kreisa is going to the box. I thought maybe they were going to call Houston for interference, but instead it's Freddie Kreisa who goes to the box.
I think the ruling behind that is the refs could see that Kreisa's, he's a good enough skater. He could have gotten around, skated around, and he kind of skated through.
Okay, great point, Tim. So the faceoff will come all the way down to the right of Hansen. Or maybe to the left. Actually, it's to the left of Hansen. And so the Voodoo have an early power play just underway. 15-20 to go here in the first. The CIDL Novice Championship. Great to have you with us here on D-League Radio. Face-off won by Ernst. Gets it over to Wubin. She tangles with Hall. Now it comes out to Ernst, who shoots. That one's just deflected. That was almost kept in by Captain Nick Hannes, but the Voodoo will have to reset, so he'll just dump it in. Now Spear comes down deep. He gets there just ahead of Jack Miller. Now Shedowai tries to clear and does. Wubin just had it glance off her stick. So once again, the Voodoo regroup. Tried to hit Hunter Lee, but that one eludes him, and now Knights clear it all the way back down. And the captain, Nick Hannes, will reset behind his own goal. Hannes brings it up. Knights sort of playing a little passive there. Gets past Hall. But Shedowai tries to clear. Oh, and it just went off the stick of Hunter Lee. It looked like they were going to keep it in there momentarily, but they did clear it. So now the Voodoo will have to reset. Now Jack Miller tries to kill some time and just chips it out. It's going to be retrieved, though, by Ernst. So O'Reilly now, he clears it. Tried to hit Hall, and there's no icing, so Hall will pursue that puck. He's got Ernst right behind him. He's trying to kill a little more time off this penalty. And you can see the other three Knights are staying way back. Very conservative play, which is a very smart way to do this. And now Hannes emerges for Voodoo. Hannes brings it up. About 20 seconds left on the power play now. Hannes looking to center it. Tried to hit Ernst. He went off his stick. Now Gerhardy's got room, and he gets around Don Papian. Here comes Ryan Gerhardy. Centers to O'Reilly, just wide. Papian now behind his net. He fires it right through the center, but it got through and just out of the zone. John Taylor tips it in deep, and that will kill off the penalty. Hannes now trying to find Lee, but that's going to go all the way down for the icing call. So Jeremy, first power play goes for naught, and the Knights kind of dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, I think the Voodoo might be a little disappointed in that first power play. They had a lot of trouble getting anything set up down in the Knights zone. They were there for a little bit, but the Knights did a really good job of getting a hold of that puck and just getting it out.
All right, so McFarland gets it out and up to Nate McCombs, looking to get around McKee. McCombs still with it. That's poked off his stick, but it's kept in by Justin Rogers. Rogers shoots, and that one's fought off by Hansen. Good shot by Rogers. That one's cleared all the way down for the icing call. So we're about 8 minutes into this. Tim, down at ice level, what's the mood on both benches?
Very excited, very, very excited. Very attentive to what's going on the ice. And these past two icings have been relatively smart icings, just kind of slowing down the play of something that's starting to heat up in each respective zone.
All right, so a little bit of jitters still to work out, but things are starting to settle down. Faceoff's one back to the point. Papian can't quite keep that in. Voodoo will reset once again. Patrick McFarland, D-League radio personality, has it squirt free. Curtis Fisher tries to get there. He tangles with McCombs. Now it's Hannes. Try to get it in deep, and now McFarland chips it in, where it's taken by Hansen. Hansen reverses course, but that's kept in by McCombs. McFarland centers, but it's right on the stick of Travis White. Now Rachel Rusevsky. She chips it up to McCombs. Rolls off his stick. Now it's Gerhardy. Ryan Gerhardy gets the puck. He shoots. Gloved by Fraken. And Jeremy, that was a tough play because he sort of used Rusevsky as a screen, but Fraken picked it up just in time to make the save.
Fraken was on point with that. He did screen. Like I said, Rusevsky was right there, and Gerhardy is a smart player in the novice league and used her as a screen to kind of get in the way of Craig Fraken so that he could get a quality shot, but Fraken did get his glove on that in time.
So face-off battle goes to the middle. It's going to be Wubin trying to clear. Just gets it out. Now it squirts to the middle where it's taken by White. But now Spear will clear for Voodoo. Let's see if they're going to call that icing. Yes, they do. Looked like Shedawai may have had a play, but the judgment of the official says it is an icing call. About the midway point of the first period, still no score. CIDL championship game for the novice division. So guys, this started way back first week of October, and here we are May 5th. And this decides the whole thing, so exciting day of hockey. Rusevsky tries to clear and does. Tilly has it roll off his stick. Now it's taken by Spear. Casey Spear. Spear brings it in. Gets around McKee now. He centers. That's blocked. That comes back to Taylor at the point. He stumbles momentarily. And it's going to be Kreisa, Freddie Kreisa. Battles with Tilly. He centers. That's past White, so Rusevsky will get there first. Kept in momentarily by Miller, but now it is cleared by the Voodoo. That's going to go in for another icing call. So, Tim, does it look like both teams are still sort of making adjustments right now?
Yeah, right now, it's as I've always said, they're still dancing. They're still trying to figure each other out down here. I'd say there's jitters on both sides of the ice.
As you would expect in a final, but again, we're just about halfway through the first here. I'm sure that will settle down shortly.
Jitters might be expected between these two teams. The last two times they've met, they've ended in ties. 2 of the 3 Knights ties have gone to the Voodoo.
Mavridis sends it down deep. O'Reilly battles with Ernst. Now it squirts free to Bradley Hall. Now O'Reilly from a sharp angle. That one's blocked. Taylor will try to get it up to Ernst. It goes past him, and McKee brings it out. Taylor battles with Mavridis, causes the offside, but now Hall brings it in. That's deflected wide. Patton now to clear for the Voodoo and does. And that one was tipped by a Knights defender, so no icing. As McKee, the captain, takes it behind her net. Looking for help. Goes the opposite way to Miller. And now it's going to be O'Reilly who chips it up. Right under the stick of Jeremy Ernst. Now Tom Mavridis has a break on the breakaway. Mavridis shoots, and big pad save by Fraken. Hall now retrieves it. And now Hunter Lee clears. So big sequence there for the Knights, but a great save by Fraken. Taylor now along the ball with Patton. Gets around Ernst. Taylor still with the puck. Taylor still centers. That's blocked. Now Hunter Lee will bring it out. Lee tried to get it to Patton, but that's too far ahead, and that will result in another Voodoo. So guys, big scoring chance there for the Knights. Craig Fraken appears to be very sharp, Jeremy.
He is. He's standing up to the task for all the shots the Knights have taken. The Knights are doing a very good job of setting up those plays and getting shots on goal. The Voodoo, on the other hand, are getting it down the ice, but they're not getting it on each other. They look just like they're jittery. They're not quite getting a tape-to-tape shot there, and it's resulting in a lot of these icing calls.
Hannes wraps it around. Rogers deflects it away from Taylor. Now Gerhardy keeps it in, but blocked by Lee. Now kept in, though. That one goes just wide. And now Lee will get a second chance to clear, and does. But that will result in another icing call.
D-League Radio is brought to you by the Keg Stand, primary sponsor of D-League Radio now for its 4th year, located at 3530 West Town Parkway in West Des Moines. Over 90 beers on tap with new tappings every week. Special events and parties throughout the year. Full menu, the best food in town. Open Monday through Friday. They're open 7 days a week until 2 a.m. It's a great place to hang with friends and catch the game on their big TVs. Official home of the CIDL, and as always, the home of D-League Radio.
So good pressure here by the Knights. Voodoo just trying to clear and just get it over the stick of Etnier. Lee in pursuit, but Derek Etnier will get there first and get it out and cleared. And now it's the Knights who ice the puck. 5:30 to go, still looking for our first goal of the game, 0-0.
There's been so many close calls on the ice here. Close calls as far as one step or a couple feet, and it's going to turn into a breakaway or a 2-on-1 for either team or the other. I look to see a score here fairly shortly before the end of the first. Yeah,
I agree, Tim. It's starting to settle down now, and teams are getting used to the fact that it's still a hockey game. Somebody's going to make a play soon. All right, so here comes Travis White. He's bothered by Rasevsky. Good play there by Rachel. Now it's cleared out by Tilley, and now it's McCombs who gets it. He's pursued and taken off his stick by Kreisa. Now Kreisa's going to take it behind his own net. That gets past everyone, so Rasevsky will clear over to her partner Hannes. Hannes over to Wubin. Glances off her stick and goes deep where it's going to be taken by Miller. Jack Miller reverses course. Kept in by Wubin. Good play there by Jen. Tilley tried to center at Karems, but it's kept in by the captain, Hannes, who shoots. That goes over the net. And that was a big shot there, Jeremy. I'm not sure. I thought for a moment it might have been a illegal slap shot, but I don't think that's the case.
The Voodoo bench down here is really upset because that puck was still loose, and the ref did not see it, but they blew the play dead.
All right, so the face-off to the left of Hansen. Rasevsky now, just outside the zone. She dumps it back as the Voodoo have to tag up. Now it's Miller who's going to bring it up for the Knights. Miller up to White. Gets around Rasevsky. Oh, at the last minute she picked his pocket. Great play there by Rachel. There comes Tilley. He's got McCombs with him. Avery Tilley to the middle. Back check by Kreisa. Good play there. Tilley gets it back. That backhand goes wide. Now Tilley and Miller battle along the wall. Good pressure here by the Voodoo. Tilley now still battling along the boards. That one is finally cleared. That one I think was ticked, so no icing. Fraken will come out to play it to his captain, Hannes. Hannes now. Stretch pass for McCombs. That rolls off his stick. It's taken by Shedawai. Jason Shedawai fires it up the boards. That one comes straight out off the glass. It's intercepted by Ernst and kept in. He tangles with Mavridis. They're still battling for that puck. That's onto the stick of Brad Hall. Great forecheck there by Jeremy Ernst as he seemingly took on about 3 players. Houston keeps that in. Puck skates loose, and now Mavridis clears. There's James O'Reilly who gets it. He's just overskated the puck, and now he's caused himself to be offside, so it's cleared by the Voodoo. Wubbin gets it in. It's taken by Hall, though. And it looks like we may have a penalty here, guys. I saw Shedawai going to the bench, but the official's pointing at him. Well, I guess there's no call. Tim, could you hear what was going on down there?
No, I'm not sure exactly what he said, but he was rather upset. And I forget the name of that ref, but I really do appreciate him when he's on the ice.
All right, so we reset things at center ice. No penalty on the play. Minute 40 to go here in the first. Still no score. Taylor clears it right up the middle off the skate of O'Reilly. Good play there by Spear to pull that aside out of harm's way. Gets it up to Patton. Patton shoots, and that one's deflected on net. Hansen had to make a save. Now it's Taylor again who fires. That one's picked off by another Taylor. And now O'Reilly looks to get around. Now Patton centers. That's intercepted by McFarland. Kind of by himself. Holds up for help as Taylor comes in along with Patton. McFarland now centers. That's blocked, and it came out to the crease, but that's steered aside alertly by Hall. Hall pops it up and just out of the zone. O'Reilly pursues, but Houston gets there first. Good play there by Houston. Now Mavridis will bring it in. 35 seconds to go now. Taken off his stick nicely on a poke check by Spear. Jonathan Taylor brings it in, but way offsides. O'Reilly was well over that blue line. And about 20 seconds by the time they reset this. That's just about going to do it for the period.
Good quality example of keeping your head up right there. You got to know exactly where everybody on the ice is when you're coming into the zone, and I just don't think Taylor knew that his man was still buried in the zone.
All right, so 3-2-1, and that will do it. So after the first period in this championship game, no score. So the high-octane Knights have yet to get on the board, and the Voodoo, I would say so far, Jeremy, are matching their speed.
They are definitely holding them play for play. There is nothing here that has said one team is going to beat out the other. It's a very gloves-off hockey game, if you will. It's very in each other's face, and they both came to play. They both want that championship trophy.
Tim, your observations or anybody you can snag for an interview down there?
Well, Captain Hannes declined interview this period, which is I totally understand that. But I can tell you right now, this is shaping up to be a really, really good game. I thought there was going to be a score before the first, but both teams have just been battling. This is a deadlock at this point right now. But, everybody's engaging big time in these in intermission meetings right now, and we'll see.
Yeah, spot on comments. I think things are settling down, and both teams know they're in a battle now. And I would say the Voodoo have probably had a little more attack zone time, but Fraken has had to make the majority of the saves so far. Hansen had to make a couple, but Fraken has had to be especially sharp, Jeremy.
He's definitely faced more shots on net. The Voodoo, I think, without looking at the stat, I think they have about the same amount of shots, but the Knights' shots have been a little more concentrated to the actual net without going too wide.
All right, so second period now, the period of the long change. This is when things tend to happen. Maybe a breakaway or two, and definitely more scoring opportunities. One back by Gerhardy. And Rogers sends that in. And now Gerhardy brings it back out. Intercepted nicely by Spear, Casey Spear. Battles with Gerhardy. Now it's Gibson who chips it in. The speedster Avery Tilley will get there first. Tilley now tried to kind of pass that to himself, but Gerhardy gets there first. Now alertly cleared by Don Papian, D-League veteran. Good play there by Papian. Shedawai gets it up there, where it's taken by Tilley. Now both teams kind of trade possessions here in the neutral zone. Shedawai chips it over, but it's intercepted by Lee. Hunter Lee brings it in. Now it's Rogers who chips it in, Justin Rogers. Looking for help. Rogers centers to Lee, just goes off his skate. Now Etnier gets there just ahead, and pops it behind his own net, and now Shedawai looks to regroup. Now we have another whistle.
I think they're going to get Lee for a crease violation. He skated in right in behind Hansen on that play.
All right, so something we've seen more of this year, some crease violations. I think it's a good call. It keeps everybody safe on the ice.
Looks like it's just a warning. I think with the crease violation, you actually get one gimme. You get a warning on it.
All right, so this warning brings the face-off outside the Knight zone. Ernst now. Nice little nifty play over to Lee. Lee fires. That one's blocked. Right back to Wubin. On a big shot, big scramble. Lee still with the puck. He tangles up. Now Wubin down low, and finally Gerhardy emerges. So big chance there for the Voodoo. Now it's Gerhardy. He's got Ernst on him, and Rusevsky make a nice poke there. Now Lee emerges for Voodoo. Hunter Lee with some open ice. Tries to get around by Camp, but now Tilley picks it up. Avery Tilley. He centers. That one's deflected wide. Shedawai, who's seemingly everywhere right now, clears the puck. And that results in the icing. So 17:30 to go here in the second. Still no score in this CIDL Novice Championship. The number 4 Voodoo versus the number 1 Knights. You know, guys, I wanted to say this at the top of the telecast, but I didn't have a chance. There's a special kind of pressure coming into a championship game undefeated. You want to finish this thing off, and yet it's still a game you have to play.
Yeah, that's a pressure I don't think I've ever faced. But there's plenty of teams that they love to get that loss out early in the season.
Now here comes Freddie Kreisa. Kreisa trying to get around Rusevsky. Kreisa shoots. Big save by Fraken. Rusevsky clears that aside. So once again, Fraken is square to the shooter. He doesn't give up much of a rebound. Miller now centers. That one goes in. So after a big save on Kreisa, Jack Miller lets a shot go from the point, and I don't know if that was deflected or not. It wasn't that hard of a shot, but it had eyes. And finally, the Knights open the scoring, and it's 1-0.
I think there was just so much traffic between Fraken that he just didn't see it until it was too late, and it went to that far corner.
Yeah, it caught the corner of the post, and immediately the Voodoos, the entire team just hung their heads, and of course the Knights celebrated. But the Voodoo is still into it. They're ready to rock and roll.
All right, so face-off one back to Hannes. Here comes McFarland now. He gets that one on net, and Hansen decides to freeze that one. So finally we have a goal. And I guess we shouldn't be surprised, guys, that it came on a kind of a strange play, because on the more conventional scoring plays, both goalies have been very sharp. But that one just kind of, like I said, had eyes, and it's the Knights who strike first. All right, McFarland now against Kreisa. McFarland wins that back. But Kreisa now tries to get it on. A good poke check there by Hannes. But Mavridis gets it back to Kreisa. And White tried to keep on sides. He had dragging that toe along the blue line, but just couldn't quite do it. And results in the icing.
D-League Radio is brought to you today by Red Dragon Herbs. Farmers Market season is upon us. You can enjoy loose leaf tea at its finest from Red Dragon Herbs. Specialize in loose leaf tea from around the world. They are available at several farmers markets around the metro area. Make your order today online at reddragonherbs.net or at your favorite farmers market.
Right. Now Spear looks to clear. He gets it over to Patton. Lee Patton's going to chip it out. Catches McFarland in the back. And now Spear will get there. as he clears it up to McFarland. That's intercepted by Hall. Hall back to Mavridis. Tom Mavridis brings it in. Gets around Spear, centers to Hall. Over to O'Reilly. James O'Reilly shoots. That's fought off by Fraken. Big dog pile there, and now Fraken will cover up. I think that's a smart play there, Jeremy, because the Voodoo defense were really scrambling there, and the Knights were swarming.
Yeah, the Voodoo were starting to get out of position, and there were a lot of gray jerseys right there in front of Fraken. Sealing that puck up and just bringing the play to a halt is just heads-up hockey by Craig Fraken in net.
All right, so the face-off to the right of Fraken now. Tilly wins it back. It's taken by Spear. Spear's going to wrap it all the way around. He's trying to hit Taylor. It does come out of the zone. And now it's taken by another Taylor, Jonathan. And now Tilly brings it in. Tilly brings it in. He fires, and that one rolls off the end of his stick. Now John Taylor tries to clear it, just goes over the stick of Houston. Now Spear gets it up to Tilly. That chips off his stick into the zone. Taylor wraps it around again. Kept in by Taylor. Intercepted by Spear right at the center ice. Now Spear brings it in off a nice feed by Taylor. That one goes wide. Casey Spear looking to help. Reverses it back to Taylor. He fires. That one's deflected. Now it goes wide. Now Rogers will get there. Battles with Hall. Etnier chips it, and that comes right out to the crease. And now Hall gets another chance. Spear keeps that in. Voodoo center, that goes right through the crease. And here comes Taylor, gets around Houston. He's got O'Reilly with him. Tilly back. Now Houston recovers. Ties up Taylor just inside the blue line, but O'Reilly has it behind the net. Looking for help. Battles with Wubin. Now Mavridis has it. Centers it over to Etnier, and here comes Tilly. Oh, just poked off his stick. Great play by Tom Mavridis. Otherwise, Tilly was off to the races.
Tilly's one of the faster skaters in novice, too.
All right, here comes Gerhardy just off the bench. Ryan Gerhardy goes wide. Battles with Houston behind the net. Gerhardy goes down but gets the puck back. Now Spear comes back to help. Gerhardy centers to Jack Miller. High in the slot. Miller shoots. That one's deflected wide. Gerhardy again. Knights definitely winning the loose puck battles as O'Reilly fires that wide. Miller again, about the same point where he scored earlier, but this time Fraken able to corral that puck. And with 11:50 to go here in the second, still 1-0 Knights.
Yeah, a change is definitely needed right now for the Voodoo. If they're going to keep that up down in that zone with the pressure from the Knights like that, it'd quickly be a 2-0 game.
Face off to the right of Fraken now. Ernst and Gerhardy. Gerhardy wins it back to Shedawai, who fires. Fraken fights that off. And now it's going to be the captain, Nick Hannes. Hannes brings it out. Brings it in. He's got a little bit of room. Hannes now fires. That one's blocked by Shedawai. Shedawai trying to hit Gerhardy and does. Gerhardy on the breakaway. Fraken denies him. Puck still live and went right over the stick of Tim Gibson. Knights really swarming now. Now Ernst chips it through. Trying to get around Gerhardy. Overskates it. Now it's Miller who has it. Taken by Papian, who just chips it out. And here comes Jeremy Ernst. Ernst, right through the middle. Trying to get around Gibson. That one's wrapped around the Knights net. Or Kreisa now has it. Freddie Kreisa. Still with the puck, looking for an open man. Tries to get over to Shedawai and does. Shedawai dumps it in, but it's taken by Hannes. Hannes gets it out as both teams trade possessions here in the neutral zone. Stretch pass up to Jeff Taylor. And that comes out where Miller will take it in his zone. Now McFarland has it. Patrick McFarland fires. That one's deflected. That one's blocked by Captain Taylor McKee. Now Rasevsky will retrieve it for Voodoo. Just past the stick of McFarland. That one's deflected by Lee. And here comes Freddie Kreisa. Tries to get around Hannes. He stood him up right at the blue line. Good play there. McKee retrieves it for the Knights. Taylor McKee brings it up. She fires, but McFarland intercepts that. Now Patton still with it. Lee Patton trying to gain control. He fires that wide. Miller wraps it around to White. As it gets stuck in his skates, it's kept in by Lee. Good play, Hunter Lee. Knights try it again. And this time they did get it out, where it's taken by Rasevsky. She chips it back in, but the Voodoo are off sides. Now it's cleared down where it's taken by Hannes. Nick Hannes. He dumps it in deep, but that was from the wrong side of the red line, resulting in the icing. So Tim, what's the mood down at ice level now? We've had our first goal, and the Voodoo still look like they're battling, and the Knights appear confident as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'd say the Voodoo, I mean, right now they're putting on their hard hats. They're going to work, and they're doing everything they can to at least to even this thing up and make some good things happen. And, of course, that's kind of a tough thing to do against the Knights, who they always have their big boy and big girl pants on, and they're always ready to play.
That one's centered. Here comes McCombs, but Hansen comes out and just gets it past the stick of McCombs. Now it's O'Reilly who chips it in. He's by himself. He will pursue the puck. Rasevsky will get there first. But O'Reilly is going to take it off her stick behind the net. Tries to center. Puck still loose. Fired. Rebound. That one goes wide. Knights still keep it in. Good play there by Taylor. And now Patton has it. Tries to get it up to McCombs. Gets a second chance. Dumps it in where it's taken by McKee. She wraps it around to Mavridis. Tom Mavridis now. Stick handles around Tilly and gets it out of the zone. McCombs and Rasevsky emerge now. McCombs centers, but it's taken by Hall. Brad Hall has Mavridis with him. Hall fires it in. Casey Spear gets there first. That one comes off at a bad angle, but Rasevsky retrieves it and gets it out to McCombs. Nate McCombs chips it up to Tilly. Avery Tilly centers back to Patton. And cleared once again by the Knights. So Jeremy, we've seen the puck on the stick of Tilly several times, but he just hasn't quite been able to get free enough to get any serious scoring threats that are out there.
Yeah, he's got the speed to come into the zone and get it, but the Knights have done a really good job of poking it off his stick as he's coming through.
Mavridis fires, he centers. That one's fought off by Fraken. Big save there by Fraken. He makes another one, a third one on Gerhardy. Fraken's still down, and now it's in the net. So it looked like there was at least 3 saves there by Fraken. Unfortunately, his defense couldn't clear the puck out. I'm not sure who got that goal. It was either O'Reilly or Mavridis, I believe. There was such a pile of humanity down there, I couldn't tell.
Unfortunately for Fraken, he was down on the ice. He was face down in his net, and the Knights just kept hammering away. They, like you said, they had 3 or 4 good shots on goal, and that last one finally went in.
The amount of desperation on both teams right there was insane. The Voodoo desperately trying to get the puck out, and the Knights just trying. Another goal lead is just going to be better for them.
So 2-0 now for the Knights. And now, guys, we're at that point of the game where the next goal is very important. And now Gerhardy gets it for the Knights. Battles with Papian. Papian back to Shedawai. Shedawai fires. That one's deflected. Fought off by Fraken. And this time it's the Voodoo who get the puck out. Hannes and Gerhardy collide. Puck's right underneath Gerhardy. And now it's Ernst who chips it out. Ryan Gerhardy brings it in. Gerhardy fires. That rebound is available, but it comes right to Hannes. Hannes right up the middle, and it's kept in by Etnier. Good play by Derek Etnier. That one just goes wide. Now Rogers has it. Brings it up for Voodoo. Tries to find Taylor and does. Taylor brings it in. That one's corralled by Shedawai. Ooh, just off the stick of Rogers. Now Gibson has it for the Knights. He tries to find Kreisa, but that goes too far. Icing is waved off as Hannes gets there first. Now he's got some open ice. He's just going to crank it right up the middle, but it's on net. And Hansen stirs that aside. That one's kept in momentarily by Taylor. He wasn't quite sure where it was. Now Shedawai brings it up by himself. He had White, but White fell down. A good defensive play there by Hannes. Shedawai gets it on net. Another shot comes in. This time Fraken swallows it up. So lots of action, guys. And after that second goal, Tim, what's it like at ice level? Because it looks like the Knights' confidence is definitely growing now.
The Knights' confidence is certainly growing, but it's one of those things that what the Voodoo need is another 1 minute conversation between periods to kind of settle down, because as of right now, just slowly things are starting to break apart.
All right, something to definitely keep an eye on. Back to Miller at the point. Miller fires. That goes just wide. Kreisa now, he centers. That's broken up by Wubbin. Kreisa again. Stick handles around McFarland. Freddie Kreisa still at the puck. That one climbed the jersey of Hannes and went right over the net. That one's cleared by Voodoo, and that was deflected, so no icing on the play. But Miller will get there first. As he resets behind his own net. Tries to hit Kreisa and does. Back to Kreisa. Has a step and fires. That one just went wide. McFarland now has Lee with him. Hunter Lee. 2:29 to go here in the second. Still 2-0 Knights. Now they're off sides. McFarland has to circle back, so Lee just dumps it in. Now Miller behind his own net. Miller brings it up. Tries to get around Wubbin and does. Miller still with the puck. Miller's going to bring this all the way in and fires right into the breadbasket of Fraken, who makes the save. So 2 minutes to go here in the second. 2-0 Knights.
D-League Radio is brought to you today by Eggs and Jam, located at 1907 EP True Parkway in West Des Moines. It is the breakfast and brunch restaurant that has taken Des Moines by storm. It is a great atmosphere. It awaits you where 90s hip-hop is the theme. Crazy artwork on the wall is only surpassed by the food. They have fantastic dishes with clever 90s name, all made from the freshest local ingredients. Full drink menu is also included for your morning Bloody Marys and mimosas, open till 3 in the afternoon, Wednesday through Sunday. Eggs and Jam in West Des Moines.
All right, so the Voodoo emerge with a puck. Ernst is trying to get free and does, but had to pull back a little to stay on side as it's retrieved by Hall. A good chip in there. Now Rogers will get it right in the slot. He fires. That goes wide. He battles with Hall. Now Lee joins the fray. And O'Reilly tries to get out, but it's kept in nicely by Ernst. Ernst fires right on net. And that went through a swarm of players, and Hansen saw that one just in time, it looked like, Tim.
Yes, absolutely. That's what they need. The Voodoo need, if they can, you got 40 seconds left in the second, they need a big goal. And then also we'll be doing an interview with Scott Van Dort in between periods.
All right, we look forward to that here in just a few seconds. So it's one back to Etnier, who wraps it around, but that caught the net, so that will stay in. Well, Rogers will take it. Tries to center, and that's deflected behind the net. Lee now, right along that Zamboni door where the ice is pretty tough. That one squirts free. Tilley now from the point, shoots. That goes wide. Now Rogers behind the net. He fires right through the crease. And Ernst just couldn't quite get a stick on it. That'll try to be clear, but Spear keeps that in off the clearing attempt by O'Reilly. And now finally they get it out. And that will do it as Lee dumps it back in. And after two, it is 2-0 Knights. We'll give Tim Young a chance to get down here to talk with assistant coach Scott Van Dort. And it looks like he's ready. Tim, take it away.
Hey, Scott, I'll make this quick because I know you're in between periods right now. Everything's been really a lot of work by the Knights right now in the first and second periods, but what do you think you guys need to do to keep this up and go ahead and throw up the big W today and win the championship?
Well, I mean, we all know the Voodoo, and ultimately they're going to kill you on the counterattack. And for the most part, we've been stopping that. They've had one or two good chances this game, but I mean, a 2-goal lead is a little bit healthy, but I mean, that can change in a minute, and we've seen that throughout the season. So I imagine Coach John's going to be talking about the counterattack and really the centers getting back and back checking.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess one more question is, what's the overall feel of the Knights players right now going in the third?
Honestly, surprisingly loose. I've seen them somehow more stressful during the regular season, but everyone's really hyped up and being positive, which is what we want to see here, win or lose.
Awesome, Scott. Thanks a bunch. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Tim. So interesting comments there from the assistant coach.
Apparently, I'm more nervous than the Knights team
I was going to say my pulse is going pretty good, but they're nice and loose down there. So that's good to see. So, Jeremy, down by 2, what do the Voodoo need to do to get back in this thing?
Voodoo got to keep pressuring. They've got to get the puck on each other's sticks. They've got to get it into the Knights zone. They have to get some quality shots on goal. That is the only thing they're missing right now, is getting the puck to each other to avoid those icings, which they've done better at here in the second period, and then getting a good quality shot on goal, making Hansen work for that title.
All right, so the face-off one backwards taken by Spear. Spear to Patton. That one's deflected, but well inside the red line, so that will be an icing call. Just underway here in the third. Of course, 18 minutes on the clock in the third. In case the goal differential remains at 2 or less, we will have stop time in the last 2 minutes. And Jeremy, we're still looking for our first shootout or overtime in these 2019 CIDL playoffs.
Surprisingly enough, we haven't had one yet, but should this one go into overtime, we do have a 5-minute 4-on-4 continuous clock period. And if it's still tied, no one scores at that, it will go to a shootout.
Tilly now just gets it out, but it's dumped back in by Shedawai. And now McCombs will reset for Voodoo. Gets it up to Patton, but it eludes him, and now Miller picks it off. He battles with Tilly, but centered to Gibson. Tim Gibson fans on the first one. And now it's going to be taken by Spear, who alertly goes behind his own net, but then right up the middle. He got away with it. Now Tilly's going to have a break. Here comes Avery Tilly. In for the Voodoo. Tilly. Poke check beautifully by Hansen. So Hansen just waited, and before Tilly could shoot it, made the poke check. Patton now, he fires, and Hansen scoops that up. So on the biggest chance of the game for Voodoo, it's Hansen who alertly puts his stick out and pokes that away, Jeremy.
Hansen very calm in net. He just waited for Tilly to get down there, and like you said, didn't bite on anything Tilly was doing, poke that puck away, and Tilly just didn't even have a chance to get a good shot off.
No, he made a recovery, but by then it was too late as the Knights had arrived defensively. But a great play by Hansen. White brings it up, gets around Spear. Travis White still with it. He fires, and Fraken closes the door just in time to keep it at 2-0. So an early chance here in the third for the Voodoo, and obviously that's something they're gonna need to do again if they're gonna get on the scoreboard and cut into this lead. All right, 15:40 to go here in the third. Face off to the left of Fraken. One back by McFarland. Honest can't quite get it around Taylor. That one's deflected. Now Kreisa centers it. That one's broken up by Fraken. Now Taylor clears. Miller's going to get there first as 2 Voodoo pursue. Taylor up to Rogers. He chips it in, but that's cleared by Shedawai. Now it's Rasevsky. She tries to get up to Rogers and does. Rogers tried to hit McFarland, just rolled off his stick. Now it squirts free to Kreisa. Freddie Kreisa comes in, has some room. Kreisa fires just wide. Well, he got a lot on that shot too, Jeremy.
Yeah, that one echoed through the building. Everyone knows that he showed up for that shot.
All right, now the captain, Nick Hannes, emerges. Has some open ice. Hannes brings it in. Still with the puck. Hannes fires. That one's deflected wide by Hansen. right up the middle on the centering pass, but that eludes everyone. And now it's White again who brings it out. White centers, goes all the way through to Kreisa. Kreisa gets around Rasevsky, fires up the middle, but all the way through and out of the zone. And Etnier brought it in, but 3 other Knights were in there, so it results in the offsides.
D-League Radio is brought to you today by So Cherry. Whether you're looking for a great new custom jersey for any sport or some fantastic t-shirts for your upcoming events, So Cherry is your one-stop shop for all your specialized needs. They do screen printing, they do embroidery, they even do custom quilting. So Cherry can do it all, no minimum order. Find them online at socherry.com. Also be sure to check out their Facebook page. And So Cherry is the official outfitter of D-League.
Here comes Jeremy Ernst. And Hansen just got a toe on that. Ernst raced around McKee and ended up with a great scoring chance, but Hansen made the save. Now Hannes tried to fire it. That caught Hall up high. And now O'Reilly brings it in. Gets it back to Mavridis. Tom Mavridis now fires. That one's deflected. Taylor's going to keep that in. Puck on edge. Now he fires, and that one got through. And that one goes wide as Mavridis gathered that loose puck. Tom Mavridis battles with Hannes. Mavridis now with a wraparound right into the crease. And that one deflected off Houston. And Fraken alertly made that save. So, Tim, it looks like the Voodoo are starting to take a few more chances now, and that the Knights are starting to turn that over and resulting in some great chances of their own.
Yes, absolutely, and that's one thing is I think the Voodoo understand they need a goal. They need one right now, and that's going to help their team out immensely just besides the scoreboard. But I think we all know that if the Knights go up 3-0 here, that's going to be hard.
All right, so kind of an odd rolling puck there, kept in by the Knights. Mavridis has it now. Tom Mavridis gathers it back. He fires, and Fraken gloves that one. Good save there by Fraken. All right, so 12 minutes to go here as the clock starts to become the ally of the Knights and the opponent of the Voodoo. Face off to the right of Fraken. One back by Gerhardy. Right back to the point where it's taken by Shedawai. Gets around Patton. Shedawai still with it. Fires. That hits Don Papian. Sends it right up the middle. Now it gets past Etnier, and here comes Patton as well as Tilley. Etnier will get there first, but Tilley takes it off his stick. Now poked again by Hansen. So once again, the poke check comes to the rescue for the Knights from the stick of Tony Hansen. Shedawai tries to get past Tilley. That goes to the corner. Now Hunter Lee gets it in his skates. And just out of the zone. And now the Knights are offsides. It looked like they were going to keep that in, Jeremy, but it just trickled just over the line.
Yeah, it came out, and I don't think Gerhardy realized that it was offsides, and he kept fighting for it, which what results in bringing the puck all the way down to the other end of the ice.
Coach Reichert upset with the offside call ending up in the Knights zone. You could tell a little bit of yelling.
Well, typically that's on an intentional offsides, which must have been the ruling here. Papian now centers. That one's blocked. Now Gerhardy trying to get past Spear. Casey Spear blocks that one nice, but kept in the zone, at least temporarily. Now Spear gets it out here. Comes into the zone, trying to get around Etnier, and does. Spear over to Rogers, but just behind him. Now McFarland centers. That's broken up by Gerhardy. Has the puck right at his feet. Now fires it around. And that will come all the way out, and Lee will have to retrieve it. Lee now wraps it around. Gibson's going to get there first for the Knights. But Spear recovers nicely and gets it over to Rogers. Justin Rogers chips it up. Shedaway dumps that in deep. But the Knights were well offside, so now the Voodoo will reset things. Papian sends it right across the center, but it gets through. Now it's Jeremy Ernst. Ernst with the puck. He brings it in. Fires. That one's handled by Hansen, but he couldn't quite get the rebound. And now Ernst fires again to the center, and that one's blocked to the side. Jack Miller now brings it up. He's got Rusevsky and Spear back for Voodoo. Miller still with it. Miller fires, fought off by Fraken, trying to gather it in and finally does. So that time it looked like Miller was going to be content to dump that in, but the Voodoo just kept giving him more and more ice.
Yeah, they just kept giving him space. I think they were expecting him to pass it off. Freddie Kreisa was there as his wingman, and I think the Voodoo were just set up to intercept that pass, and he went ahead and took advantage of that with taking it in, taking a shot.
All right, so Miller again from the point. That one deflected wide off the leg of Kreisa. Center right to the point, and somehow Kreisa fired that wide. He was wide open on the opposite side of the crease and just fired it wide. Now Tilley trying to get around Miller. Great play by Miller to fight that off. White brings it in now. He centers. That goes all the way through. Now Tilley will chip it out. Now Tilley's got McCombs with him. Tilley still with the puck. Tilley fires. That's gloved by Hansen. So Voodoo continuing to press the issue, but good defense there to keep Tilley to the outside, and this remains 2-0 Knights. Tim, Tilley is so explosive, and the Knights are finding themselves on their heels every time he gets the puck.
Yeah, that kid's quick, really quick. And that's one of those dangerous things. He has that chip shot off the boards and just takes off. I mean, he can blow past pretty much most D in the league, I would say.
And that one's deflected or just out of the zone. Rusevsky will reset for Voodoo. She dumps it in, but McCombs is still in the zone. And now he clears. Kreisa up to White. Travis White brings it in. White still with it. Looking for somebody to pass to. That's broken up nicely. And out of the zone, and now Tilley's going to have another break. Here he comes, Avery Tilley. Taylor hustling back. Tilley still with the puck. Just fired wide. And Taylor made a great play there. He just bothered Tilley enough to force that wide. Tilley again in the middle. That one's fought off by Hansen. Good pressure here by Voodoo. 7 minutes to go, 2-0 Knights. Kreisa now reverses up to O'Reilly, but that's intercepted by Spear. Now O'Reilly will get it again. He's going to look to clear. That's a roll off his stick. Now he chips it up. That one's blocked. Now it's Curtis Fisher who brings it up. Actually, that's Taylor. Tries to center. That goes off the skate of Rusevsky. And now Mavridis has it. Tries to center to O'Reilly, and that one goes wide. Now Ernst gets it for Voodoo. Here comes Jeremy Ernst. Tries to crank it up. Can't get quite past O'Reilly, though. But finds himself with the puck again and just fires it in. Rogers will get there for Voodoo and wrap it around to McCombs. Has McFarland just coming off the bench. Tries to center, but it's picked off by Tom Mavridis, who centers it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly gets around Houston, still with the puck. O'Reilly fires. That one's swallowed up by Fraken. And Jeremy, I get the feeling that the Knights will be more than happy to just trade chances and burn the clock at this point.
Yeah, if all they're doing is trading chances, then the Knights are going to take that every day of the week. The Voodoo have to capitalize on those chances, though. They're doing a good job of getting a couple breakaways here, and it's kind of odd to say somebody other than Jeremy Ernst is the speed demon on the Voodoo, but Avery Tilley, first-year player, really showing his speed here, and he gets control of that puck here pretty soon, and he's going to be a guy that you're going to see moving up in the leagues and not being a novice very long.
Yeah, he is such an explosive player. My understanding is he comes from a roller hockey background, so he's new to this ice hockey stuff, but he's obviously adapting very well. All right, now Gerhardy emerges with it. Has it poked off his stick. Lee chips it up. McFarland will get there, but a good poke check there by Jack Miller, but right back to McFarland, who fires, and that one's swallowed up by Hansen. But again, great defense by the Knights, because the last thing you want to allow is a breakaway right down the slot, and Miller forced McFarland to the outside where Hansen was able to make a relatively routine save. All right, face off to the right of Hansen. Hunter Lee has his blocked. Now Fisher clears. Right back in by Tilley. Miller picks his pocket. Now it's Jack Miller who brings it in. Gets around Houston. Miller still with it. Miller. That's turned aside by Fraken. Now back to Tilley, but it rolls off his stick. But he gets back from Gibson. And now Gibson emerges again. There's definitely some team defense going around when Tilley gets that puck. Now teammates collide for the Voodoo, and Gerhardy gets it. Gets around Tilley. Gerhardy shoots and scores. So with 3:40 to go, Gerhardy delivers what could be the real clincher of this game, Jeremy, and now the Voodoo find themselves down by 3.
Yeah, as you saw Gerhardy coming into the zone there, Craig Fraken was eyeing him, and right when he goes to line up, Craig Fraken leans to his left, thinking he's going top shelf that side, and Gerhardy fires it to the other side and just buries one on Fraken.
So now, go ahead, Tim.
I was
Sorry.
going to say, yeah, guys, with the way the tempo's been going now with the Voodoo, I think it's now time to stick a fork in them. I think they might be done. A lot of heads hang low after that goal.
Yeah, that was a tough one to be sure. And like we mentioned earlier, the next goal was going to be huge when it was 2-0. And since it was the Knights that get it, it puts them up by 3. And now, with the 3-goal differential, that clock will not stop at 2 minutes unless the Voodoo were to get one here in the next 40 seconds.
Yeah, that 3-goal differential, when you have none on the board and you have 3 minutes to come back, that's a tall order to stand up to.
Yep, the Voodoo actually need to get one very quickly to have any chance at all as the clock continues to run. But it's not over yet. We still got 2.5 minutes to go as Captain Nick Hannes retrieves it right at the red line. Tries to get up to Lee, and that rolls off his stick. Now it rolls off the stick. And Lee now in the slot, who shoots right into the breadbasket of Hansen. So near disaster there for the Knights as there was a little bit of miscommunication. It ended up right on the stick of Ernst. He had a great shot, and then it squirted up to Hunter Lee, who probably had his first shot of the game. They've been keeping him at bay, but that time he got it, but right into the center of Hansen, who was definitely square to that shooter.
Yeah, Hunter Lee has a definite shot to him, especially in this novice division. And Hansen was already down on the ice. If he just would have seen that the corners were open, that would have been a goal for him.
All right, so Knights now, again, very content to spin the clock once they get it out of the zone, but kept in nicely by Voodoo. And now it's Travis White who brings it up. Got Hannes back. Hannes with a beautiful defensive play, gets it away from Kreisa as the captain not giving up. It's a beautiful play over to Taylor, and that rolls off his stick where it's taken by Patton. Minute 14 to go. Knights with a commanding 3-0 lead, trying to finish off an undefeated season. Right at 1 minute now as Hannes brings it up. That one's deflected. Hansen will come out to play that. Wubin keeps it in. But now White up to Kreisa. 40 seconds to go. Kreisa and Mavridis. Freddie Kreisa gets around Rasevsky. That's poked off by Hannes. Kreisa centers. Mavridis, he fires. That's turned aside by Fraken. Wrapped all the way around. Captain Taylor McKee will keep it in. Tangles with Wubin. Now Mavridis has it. Gets around Hannes, but it rolls off his stick. And centers, and Fraken will freeze it. And that's just about going to do it, guys, as we are under 10 seconds now.
And there's the buzzer.
And that is it as the Knights, the #1 Knights, who came in undefeated, had the pressure of trying to finish off the season undefeated, and they've done it. Incredible game. All right, I'm going to make my way to ice level, Jeremy, and I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, the novice division trophy will be presented here in just a few moments here after the handshake of the teams. Go over the scoring summary here. The first period, A lot of shots on goals, but no one made it in net. But then just 3 minutes and 11 seconds into the second period, we have Jack Miller coming in, assisted by Freddie Kreisa and Jeff Taylor. Then again at 13:52 into the second, we have Tom Mavridis of the Knights scoring on assists from Jonathan Taylor and Derek Etnier. Third period comes in, and we're 14-17 into the third period, almost to the end of the game. And that is when Ryan Gerhardy comes in and buries that last puck on the Voodoo. Only one penalty in the game today. If you remember when Freddie Kreisa ran into Kelly Houston early in the first period. Other than that, very clean game by both teams. Tim Young, how was the feeling on the ice by both teams down there?
Well, it's exciting for one team, and it's pretty somber for the other. But I think you can't scoff at the fact that the Voodoo had a really good season. So it's tough, but, it is what it is at this point.
Yes, and that is something to really commend. The Voodoo really finished up this season very well. They went 2-0-2 against the Knights in the regular season. The Knights went 2-0-2 against the Voodoo in the regular season, proving to be one of the only teams that really put the Knights kind of in their place during the season, and kind of worked out well that they were facing them here in the championship game. And it looks like the Knights are going to be lining up here down on the ice as the white gloves are coming on, and we're getting ready for the presentation of the Novice Division Championship Trophy. We will have our commissioner, soon-to-be commissioner, coming in commissioner, Mr. Tim Young, with presentation of the trophy, as well as our former commissioner, Mr. Matt Whips, both with the white glove treatment here for the Knights.
Both teams make their way to the blue line. How about a round of applause for a very well-played game? All right. The Voodoo came into the playoffs as the number 4 seed. First round defeated the number 5 Moose. Last week, defeated the Wild Goose, the number 2 seed. And really fought well in the championship game, coming up just short. So congratulations to the Voodoo on a great season. What a difference a year makes. A year ago at this time, the Knights had 1 win. Almost pulled off an upset, but that was it. This year, no losses. They came into the playoffs as the number 1 seed. Perfect season other than a few ties, but no defeats. And there's a special pressure trying to finish it off, and they did it. Congratulations to the Knights. Now, without further ado, Captain Taylor McKee, come get the championship trophy.
As Matt Whips alluded to, the Knights last year only having 1 win. And this year, coming into the playoffs with no defeats and only 3 ties, they have taken a long-awaited and well-deserved passing of the trophy victory laps here at center ice, Buccaneer Arena in Des Moines, Iowa.
So, Jeremy, to the victors go the spoils as the Knights come to center ice for their championship photo on just a very well-played game.
You know, the Knights just played a balanced game today. Like I said, they're just one of the reasons that they were undefeated coming in here as the number 1 seed was just on display today, as they played very well as a team. They're in rhythm with each other. They had a lot of good passes, tape to tape. They knew where each other were on the ice. They knew exactly what the strengths and weaknesses of each other are, and they played to those. And as a result, you get to have your team taken center ice, get your picture taken with the championship trophy, and you get to brag about that all summer and until this time next year.
Let the Facebook postings begin. I'm sure the Novice Trophy will be well-traveled this summer. But congratulations to the Knights. And again, we'd be remiss if we didn't tip our hats to Voodoo, who played a great game, came in with a solid game plan, and just ran into a very solid defense. As John Reichard takes his turn with the trophy, look at that.
Well, you know, he feels robbed of a trophy last year, so he has to hold the trophy this year for the Knights.
Hey,
excellent job as a coach.
I got to point out, John Reichert's on skates today.
I know. That's pretty cool, right? This is a guy who 6 months ago couldn't walk after just shredding his knee.
Exactly.
And so that's good to see. All right, so let's go over the stats here while the team takes their turn with a trophy. Shots on goal were 29-19 in favor of the Knights, which was not the case early, Jeremy, as the Voodoo had sustained pressure early. But the Knights gradually took over. No score in the first. And then finally at 3:11 of the second, Jack Miller from just inside the blue line let kind of a seeing eye shot go that eluded Fraken to open the scoring on the assist from Freddie Kreisa and Jeff Taylor. And then at 13:52, Tom Mavridis at even strength from Jonathan Taylor and Derek Etnier. That was the goal that we weren't sure who scored it. So good to see that Mavridis got that one. And then finally, the real clincher at 14:17 of the third by Gerhardy makes the final 3-0. So, one championship down, one to go. But before we start talking about intermediate, your thoughts on the Knights completing the perfect season?
I think the perfect season tends to elude everyone. It's just kind of that holy grail situation that no one can ever get their hands on. If you enter the playoffs with a undefeated season, we see it all the time in professional sports, that's when they lose. You know, they always try to get that little bit of nervousness of the first loss out during the regular season when it doesn't carry so much weight. The Knights, hats tip to them, because they did a very good job of not letting that get in the way. The nerves didn't get to them of that, not having that loss, and they still stepped away today with a very solid 3-0 win against the Voodoo.
Yeah, and you know, you alluded to it a moment ago. You even hear coaches say things like, well, we'd like to get one loss just to get it out of the way so we can go back to playing hockey, basketball, whatever we're talking about. But in this case, the Knights had the first round bye. They obviously got everything ready to go. Took care of the Bandits last week and the Voodoo today. And, you know, of all the teams that they could have played in the final, I think the Voodoo presented the most matchup problems for them. And they obviously made the adjustments necessary. They largely kept Tilly and Ernst, the two speed demons, at bay. I mean, they had their chances to be sure. But Hansen came up big when he needed to as well. And, again, it's the number one Knights who emerged with the victory. So hats off to them.
Very good game by both teams today.
All right, so let's look forward to the next game. We have one more championship to be decided. We have a rematch of last year's game. Now, obviously, a lot of the names have changed, but it's the number 5 Wolverines coming up against the number 2 Jesters. What do you expect to see in that one?
Again, that's, you know, not necessarily the two teams I foresaw being in the championship game for intermediate, but both teams, end of the season, have been playing very well. They've been playing very balanced, and I don't see anything happening out of the ordinary here. I see a 3-2 game. I'm not sure who's going to win this. I really don't. I can't really put my Vegas odds on anybody right now because both of these teams have been playing on fire late in the season.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a very close game. Boy, I just have a lot of good memories, well, very vivid memories of last year's championship when it was seemingly the Jesters to lose because they had such a juggernaut of a team, and it was the Wolverines who emerged with the victory because Aaron Inderlead just basically took over that game. And we saw glimpses of that last week as they played the Iowans, as Inderlead really stood tall, and he's going to have to do it again today because the Jesters have the leading scorer in the league, Patrick Samborski. They've got Charlie Marriott, Chris Lightfoot, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of good scoring depth on the Jesters as well. And Rich Penteco is going to have to be sharp because the Wolverines have Garby. They have Ted Davis. I assume Travis Hamilton's going to be here today. So lots of big scores for the Wolverines as well. I think it's going to be a great game.
Oh, definitely going to be a great game. And like you said, they have scores. Both teams sporting some very good defense as well. Kevin Coble for the Jesters is a big guy to get around. He creates a wall in front of Rich Penteco that is very hard to set up any type of plays with. You have D-League Radio's, well, now I'm going to forget his name.
Ryan Llewellyn.
Ryan Llewellyn.
Ryan Llewellyn, yeah.
Thank you, Rich.
It's only one of the founders of
He's
D-League.
only one of the founders, and here I am having a brain fart. Ryan Llewellyn, who sets up very good to lead the defense for the Wolverines, who makes it very difficult for them to score. And then Aaron Inderlead, who last year, deservingly so, was the MVP of the league by shutting the Jesters down.
All right, so we look forward to that one. But that will put an end to the coverage of the novice division. So again, please stay tuned for the intermediate championship coming up. But for now, for Jeremy Sandy and executive producer Rich Harms, I'm Matt Whips. You've been listening to D-League Radio.